St. Paul, throughout his writings, reminds us that we are not to be conformed to this world, but rather to be transformed by the power of God's Spirit within our lives. And so, hearing those words, I ask you, how many of you are followers of Jesus? Got me worried there. Because I was wondering, why are we here? Okay. Or we are trying to be followers of Jesus, aren't we? We are trying to be followers of Jesus. But being Christian is more than wearing a piece of jewelry around our neck or having a nice piece of art on our wall at home. Being a Christian and a follower of Jesus is about a choice. It's about a different path, a way of life. And so we can look at our society, and living in our society, living in our culture can be tough. Because the focus of our society, and we're certainly aware of this during this past week, if you have watched the stock market roll around, and I know we have. We listen to the politics in Washington, D.C. The focus is on consumption, power, privilege, and competition. Those seem to be the rules of the game. But what happens is, those rules become very coercive and destructive. Destructive of human beings, destructive of families, destructive of communities, and it will have serious consequences around the world, not just in our own backyard. And so many times, according to the rules of society, then we stand with fear and hesitation. Sometimes we feel isolated, and it seems like we are always trying to conform in order to survive. But if we listen to St. Paul, the path of creative transformation places a value on relationship, on generosity, on self-sacrifice, on reconciling love and healing love. Choices and decisions are inspired by that Spirit of God that I ask you to listen to. The Spirit of God that is within you. And that is what allows us as God's people to become creative, to be filled with an innovative spirit. But it takes courage and it takes hopefulness. For us then, gathered here today, we are asked the same question that Jesus asked Peter. Who do people say that I am? And we can give a lot of answers just like Peter. Oh, some say John the Baptist. Some say Elijah. Some say one of the prophets. We can all describe who Jesus is. But ultimately the question that is asked, but who do you say that I am, has to be answered in a particular way. And I believe that that answer will come when each and every one of us stands before the cross of Jesus Christ. And when we stand before the cross of Christ, we are asked to take on a whole new way of being, a whole new way of hearing, a whole new way of living God's Word day by day. Standing before the cross, we are asked to gather in this community. We are asked to gather as God's people. And somehow in this community, what we affirm is the value and worth of our own lives. Every single person here, no one is insignificant. But we also know that being here, we are also connected. We are connected to one another. Standing before the cross of Christ, we are invited to make a difference, but we are also invited to nail ourselves to that cross. Why? The same reason we claim that we are followers of Jesus or trying to be followers of Jesus. Out of love. Standing before the cross of Christ, we are called to return to the complexities of our life, where most of our lives are lived 24/7. Sometimes we experience fullness. Sometimes we experience struggle. Sometimes we experience sorrow. Sometimes we experience frustration. And sometimes we are able to celebrate as God's people. Who do you say that I am? Answering that question will change the reason we come here. And answering that question, we will never be quite the same out there.